Hello, what's going on, everyone? Thank you so much for joining me here this morning on Narcissism 101 Cracking the Code with me, Paul Wisdom. Good morning. Hope everybody's having a great morning so far. Hoping your Wednesday is off to a good start. Before we get into what we're going to talk about today, if you would like a one-on-one session, please email me, paul.wisdom_03 at hotmail.com, or you can send a text message to 647-406-3057. If you want to talk, if you want to vent, if you need some more advice, if you're trying to figure out whether the person you're dealing with is a narcissist or not, please feel free to reach out to me. I will just say, though, for those who are new, if you would like to book a session, if you would like to reach out to me, please text the number that I just mentioned. Let me know your name and that you've been watching some of my content. If you just call the number, I may just block the number just because I just don't answer random numbers. Because, like I said in my previous videos, that there are a lot of predators out there, and you really have to be careful who gets your number, your information. So yeah, please just text me. Let me know your name, and then I can get you the help that you need. All right. All right, so what we are going to talk about, and I have a really good one for you guys this morning for today, is called Narcissists Can Dish It, but They Cannot Take It. 100%. Narcissists can dish it, but they can't take it. We have to remember, and I mentioned this in most of my videos, and especially for those who are new, and if you're new, thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate you joining us here at Narcissism 101, Cracking the Code with me, Paul Wisdom, myself. We have to remember, guys, and I mentioned this in most of my videos, that narcissists thrive off of chaos, confusion, and what is the last one? That's right, control. Narcissists need their end game is to control as many people as they can. I know that I've said that in most of my videos, but I need to reiterate it because it's very true. And it's true when we are talking about the fact that narcissists can dish it, but they can't take it. See, narcissists when they dish out their behaviors, their gaslighting, their smear campaigns, their triangulations, their when they project their own insecurities onto other people, when they're doing all these things, guys, they're showing you who they are in a passive aggressive way, and they do this in a passive aggressive way because they don't want you to know that they're actually doing it. Because narcissists know what they're doing. They know they're doing these things, and they know that each and every relationship, each and every interaction that they have, it's not going to end in anything good because narcissists don't like anything good. Everything is bad to the narcissist, and they show this by dishing out the abuse that they dish out, right? And so when we do it back to them, when we're screaming and yelling at them because they reactively abused us, they provoked us to get mad, or they start an intentional argument before a very special occasion, or before you guys are about to leave, or before you're about to go for, let's say, an exam or something like that. The narcissist knew that they were going to do that even before it happened, because narcissists are very calculated. They're very calculated in everything that they do, in the sense that they know when they're gonna blow up somebody's day. They also know what makes somebody tick, what bothers someone, and they know how to play, and they know how to use someone's insecurities against them, right? So if somebody doesn't like something, the narcissist knows when to do that thing that person doesn't like, even though that person told the narcissist, "I don't like that. Please don't do that." The narcissist is going to find a way to do that. And when you tell them that, essentially what you're doing when you tell the narcissist, "I don't like that," is you're putting up a boundary. You're saying, "Look, I don't appreciate that. Please don't do that." You're putting up a boundary. But the narcissist, you have to remember, they have a high sense of self-importance, and I mentioned that in many of my videos as well, that they have a high sense of self-importance where they believe that everybody should bow down to them, everybody should do what they say, everybody that they're always right, and then everybody else is wrong. Whereas it's actually the opposite. The narcissist is always wrong. They're the one that's always taking L's and losing, and we're always the one that's right. But see, the narcissist, they're not going to tell you that, right? Because they don't want to give away their power. They don't want to make it feel as though they've lost. Because narcissists want to Narcissists want to win at in every way possible, even if it's just the smallest things. Like let's say that you guys both go to work. Let's say that you're married to the narcissist, and let's say that you guys are both going about your days going to work if they have a job. And let's say that you're going to work, and let's say that they get home before you. It's just hypothetical. Let's say that they get home before you. What they're gonna do is they're gonna say, "Hey, I got home before you did. How's that?" And then you're gonna be looking at them like, "Yeah, so what's your point?" And then they'll be like, "I just wanted to bother you, just wanted to tell you that." And you're gonna be scratching out like, "But what does that matter? Why would you ever do?" They did that because what they wanted to do is they wanted to throw you off kilter. They wanted to make it see. They wanted to gaslight you to feel as though they're better than you, right? They always need to feel like they're high above everybody else, right? And they will do anything to do that, right? Let's say that you got a promotion at work. And let's say that, you told your whomever, you told a friend, you told your spouse, you told your parents, let's say, and let's say that your friend, they said, yeah, I got a promotion too, 2 years ago, and then now you're scratching. I was like, but this is about me. What are you talking about? And then in your mind, you're not saying it out loud, and then you're confused, and you can't understand why they're not celebrating, even though they're your best friend. Well, what they're showing you is that they're trying to dish it out, and they know that they can't take it, right? Because narcissists, they don't care about people the way that you care about people, right? They think that they believe everybody is disposable. But see, narcissists know that they mess up every single day, right? They know that when they discarded you, when they left you, right? They know that they messed up. They know that they screwed themselves really badly, right? Because they know that you are a really good person, right? And they know that they're not going to find somebody as good as you, right? But they need to convince themselves that they are higher than everybody else, that they are better than everybody else. So they need to do something to make it feel as though they are in control, that they are better, right? And when they dish out their behaviors, when they're disrespectful to you, when they're invalidating you, when they're walking feet ahead of you or they're walking feet behind you to show the world that they're not with you, or to look around for your replacement, maybe not on their phone, but maybe just looking around, scoping out the area where you guys are at, and looking for your replacement. They're doing this to throw you off kilter. They're doing this to show you that they don't love you, that they don't care about you. Narcissists can't love. And I made a video before. If you're new to my channel, watch that video entitled "Narcissists Cannot Love at All," right? Because they can't love. Right? Because anybody that loves you, they're not going to be doing things. They're not gonna keep score, is what they say. Keep score of all the things that you did, and then when you bring up something, now they're saying, "Oh, that's not a big deal. Why are you making such a big deal? What's your problem? You're the insecure one." They're not gonna do. Someone who loves you is not gonna do that. Someone who loves you is gonna understand, and they're gonna want to figure out how to make it so that you're happy, right? Because narcissists, you have to remember, they don't care about your happiness. They actually get pleasure from seeing you in pain, from seeing you angry, from seeing you sad, right? When you break down and start crying for something, you know what I mean? They get pleasure from that, right? Because it gives them supply. It feeds their ego, right? But narcissists know that they know exactly where they're headed, right? And they know exactly what they're gonna get in return. Because nothing's ever good with the narcissist. Nothing's ever good when it comes down to the narcissist. They can fake it, and they can make it seem as though they're powerful. They can make it seem as though their life is going swimmingly once they've discarded you and moved on to your replacement. They can make it seem as though they're living their best life, but it's not true. It's all a lie, right? Because the thing is that they know that person that they're going off to, it's not because they love them, but it's because they're trying to, they always need to be on the go, because narcissists are very paranoid. They believe that everybody's after them. They believe that there's always something better out there, so they can never be satisfied. Right? So, and I actually made a video on 2 reasons why narcissists get divorced. And those 2 reasons are for control, for access, and also because they're never satisfied with anyone, right? So narcissists, that's why they need to dish out their nasty behaviors They need to do that because it makes them feel stronger. And when you start when you start, speaking up for yourself and start saying, "Look, I don't appreciate this. Look, we've been together for X amount of years, and or I've known you for this amount of years if it's a friend or something, and I just don't understand why you're treating me this way." And then as soon as you speak up, now they're making you out to be the bad person. They're making fun of you and they mock you. They show contempt for you, right? And they say, "What's your problem? Why are you so serious?" Like that's not true. That if you didn't do this, then I wouldn't have done that. Then you're going back and forth, and they know this. They do this every single day. They may not do it in front of you. They may not even do it, when you want it to happen. But they're doing it when you're not seeing, when you're not around, and they know exactly why they're doing it too, right? Because they want to show you that because to the narcissist, it makes them look good, right? But you know that doesn't look good. You know that's foolishness, right? But they know that it makes them look good because they do this all the time. They've been doing this before, way before you knew them, right? So they're never satisfied. So guys, what you have to understand is that narcissists, they can dish it out, but they can't take it, right? Pay very close attention to people that, dish out disrespect, to people who are disrespectful. And then once you start speaking up, then they start making it seem as though you're the bad guy, that you're the problem. When you try to get someone to apologize to you for something that they did wrong, if they can't apologize and own up and say, "Hey, I'm so sorry for what I did. I didn't mean that." Pay very close attention to their reaction when you express how they treated you. And if they're not concerned, and if they show you that they don't care, then it's in your best interest to just walk away and don't give them any attention, because they're showing you that they are a narcissist. Because narcissists, remember, narcissists don't feel, right? They feel, but they don't feel in the same way that you feel, right? Narcissists only feel if it benefits them, right? And usually that's in the love bomb stage, the love bombing trap of deception, where they try to make it seem as though they love and as though they care, right? Because they know that that's worked. And the reason why they love bomb people, narcissists love bomb people in that web of deception, the reason why they do that is because they know that it's worked many times in the past. And they know that, you're not going to be the last person that they do this thing to, right? Where they shower you with fake affection, where they tell you that they love you, they tell you that you're so amazing, that you're the yin to my yang, you're the love of my life, I love you unconditionally. When they're telling you all these things, they know inside their mind that they're tricking you. That's a trick. And it's really, if you think about it, it's really a form of gaslighting too. Because what happens when they say all those things, after a while, the narcissist starts to pull back and they start acting differently. They start not saying those things at all. They stop saying "I love you." They stop wanting to spend time with you. They don't behave the same way, right? Now you're gaslighted. Now you're doubting yourself, and you're saying to yourself, "Where did all the I love yous go? What happened?" It's like it just changed overnight. It's like they just switched up. And the truth is that they did switch up, and they knew that they were going to do that for however long they wanted to do that. You have to remember too, when it comes down to the love bomb stage, and I know I'm talking about a lot of things here, but I need to unpack it just because it's narcissists dishing out their nastiness, right? And how you are, and how you're responding to it, right? So you have to remember, like, when the narcissist is doing this, they know exactly what they're doing, right? When they're love bombing you, they know that that it's all gonna end just like that. It's gonna go away just like that, and then you're gonna be trying to want to go back there and get back to when they were saying "I love you," but that's never gonna happen again, right? Because once that wears off, that was all an illusion. That was all a deception, right? They were dishing that out because they know that you are going to take the bait, right? They know that they do this all the time, and people always fall for it, right? Because it works. Why not? They think in their devilish minds, if I can love bomb this person, if I can trap this person and tell them how much I love them, even though I've only known them for a week or 2 days or something like that, and they fall for it because they've never seen this before, and I know that once I pull back, they're gonna crave, they're gonna want me more and more and more. Why should I care? That's how they think about it, right? So you have to understand, right? Narcissists can dish it, but they can't take it, right? They can't take it when somebody, decides, you know what, I can't take this anymore. I'm walking away. I don't, I, or when a person's after they've been abused for 20 years or 30 years, or whether it's in a relationship or a marriage or a job. Another thing is a job, a workplace bully, or a narcissistic boss. I made a video on that briefly. They hand in their notice, and then their boss tries to coerce them into staying, at the job, and then you've had enough, and now you're confused. You're just like, why is it that they're trying to get me to stay all of a sudden when I've done everything and they still manage to treat me like garbage? Why do they want me back now? Well, the truth is that they don't necessarily want you back. And this is something that, I've come up with myself. I learned myself. They don't really necessarily want you back. What they want is they want a paper trail on you, right? What they want is that once you do come back, which is also known as a counteroffer, when you do come back, what they want actually is to show that they can actually dish out to you, that they're in control of you, right? They want control, right? That's what they want. That's why narcissistic bosses, that's why they counter offer and try to coerce other people, their employees to staying when an employee quits. They do this because they want control, right? And then they want to be the one that fires you, right? 99% of the time. 1%, they counteroffer, but it's because they hope that they can help you out somehow. But usually, in 9 out of 10 cases, it's because they want to control you. They want to control the narrative. They want to say that you weren't doing your job, or you were the problem. You're the reason why the work didn't get done, or whatever outlandish excuse that they create. Right? That's what narcissistic bosses do. But what I'm saying, guys, is that narcissists they can dish it out, but they can't take it when somebody files for divorce. Let's say that you've been abused in your marriage for many years, for 20 years or 30 years, or however long you guys were married, right? 2 years, 1 year, whatever, however long you were married, and you just can't take it no more, so you file for divorce, right? The narcissist gets pissed off. Now, hold on a second. I'm gonna say right now, if you found out that the person you're married to is a narcissist, the last thing you want to tell them is that you want a divorce. Do not tell them anything about you wanting to leave, especially if they're a very violent, malignant narcissist and they, throw things and they punch holes in walls and whatever they do. Do not tell the narcissist that you want to leave, whether it's by separation, whether it's by divorce. If you're in a relationship with them, and you want to leave, do not tell them you want to leave. Someone's going to say, Paul, why? It is because if you tell them you're going to leave and they're, let's say, a malignant narcissist, they could actually kill you. Right? They could actually find you, like they could do a multitude of things to you, right? They could go on a massive smear campaign. They could go crazy because now they know that they've lost control of you, right? So your best bet is to move smartly, move in silence, because silence is power when dealing with narcissists. Because one thing narcissists hate, and I learned this actually from when I was with my ex-wife, and from other people in my life, not just my ex-wife, but mainly from my ex-wife, is that narcissists hate silence. They do not like silence. Someone's going to say, Paul, why do narcissists not like silence? The answer is because when silence is happening, that means that narcissists don't have control, right? They're not in control of anything when it's silent. Right? And the thing is, the second thing is that when it's silent, that means that when you're silent, when you're just in silence, just relaxing, let's say, and there's nothing going on around you, it's peaceful, it's silent, that means you're enjoying the calm, you're enjoying the peace, it's peaceful. But narcissists, they don't like peace. Narcissists hate when it's quiet, because if there's peace, that means that sooner or later the demons are going to come into their minds and start telling them things, right? And they can't have that. They have to run away from the demons that try to tell them things, right? So it's really important that you guys understand, right? That narcissists can dish it, but they cannot take it, right? So, but it's also for you to know to be very careful, right? That's why silence is your best friend when dealing with a narcissist, right? Move in silence, right? Start being silent, right? If you're making a plan to leave, leave in silence, right? Let the authorities, let the cops know, let a close friend, a trusted friend that know that you're being abused, that you're planning on leaving your partner or leaving your evil toxic family or leave that job. Let somebody know, somebody you can trust, and the authorities as well, so that you can protect yourself in case they try to come after you, right? Because narcissists don't care, right? They will literally try and do everything to come after their victims, and they get a high. It gives them a rush as well. It gives them supply when they can come after their victims, right? Even though that person, blocked them or went no contact with them or did whatever, right? They can't take it, and narcissists can dish it, but they can't take it because because if they're dishing it, right, they know that they have control. They can't take it because then you're taking away from their control, and they can't have that because they need to always feel like they are in control, right? So it's very important that you guys understand, in order to protect yourself, that narcissists can dish it, but they cannot take it. So be very, very careful in how you move when dealing with narcissistic people, right? Don't just think that these people are normal. These people, are not like normal people. You can't just say, okay, you know what? My narcissistic partner, whom I was dating for 20 some years or however long, we still go to the same church. I see them and I say hi to him or her. We see each other. No, you can't. And I actually had a conversation with someone about this on a health session that I spoke on, some weeks ago now. And what I said was that you can't treat narcissists that way. Narcissists are not normal people. They're not like your everyday toxic person that when you end a relationship with them, you just move on and they just go their separate ways. That's not how narcissists are at all. Narcissists keep score, right? And narcissists have selective memories. They remember, the person that they targeted and how that person, got away, the one that got away, right? They also know the people that they still have control over, right? And they also know that they cannot let things go. Right? Narcissists are the number one type of people that cannot let things go. They don't like letting things go because they know that if they let something go or let a person go, then that means that they've lost control of that person. And like I said, they need to have control or access to as many people as they can, right? That's why it's important that you establish and make sure that you set yourself up for success and protect yourself. Make sure that you're in touch with a trusted friend. Make sure that you have, good contact with the authorities. Then they can back you up. Then they can, keep you safe, and you can let them know that, you're being abused and, I feel unsafe where I am. And then they can get you the help that you need to get to a place of safety, right? So, guys, this is a very, very important video, and you need to share it with people, right? And understand and be careful with who you threaten and who you speak to in whatever way, right? Because certain people, there are a lot of people that are very dangerous out there, especially narcissists, where they can dish it, they can be rude to you, but then they can't take it when somebody's doing it back to them, right? It's how pathetic they are, and it's how stupid they are, because narcissists can't rationalize that when you disrespect somebody after many periods of time, that person's ought to respond in a certain way that's not going to be very nice, right? And that's also known as reactive abuse. When they push your buttons and push you and push you and push you to the point where you just can't take it anymore, and then you explode and you get angry and you get upset, they're watching you, right? The narcissist may even record you. Some narcissists do that. My ex-wife didn't do that, but she did provoke me to the point where I got upset and I said, look, and then I put her in her place and I said, you need to get your stuff together. And if you don't want to get your stuff together, then get out. Pack your stuff, get the frick out this house, right? That's what I said, because I was upset, right? I lost my mind. After 5 years of having to deal with all that torment of her taking advantage of me and me doing everything and her doing absolutely nothing, I just couldn't take it anymore, right? Because I was being provoked, right? And I just said, no, I'm not going to take this no more. And then I snapped. And then I had it up with her. I said, look, you figure out what you're going to do, right? Because if you don't want to, then just get out, right? Because at the end of the day, the place, this place I'm living in is mine, right? And I'm the one who holds and decides who stays and decides who leaves, right? So you decide what you want, right? And you need to make that clear to the narcissist, right? Obviously, don't say it out loud depending on what narcissist you're dealing with. But what I'm saying is that you need to move smartly, right? Move with silence and move smart, right? And the other thing is, you have to know what narcissist you're dealing with. Make sure that you understand and watch my videos before. I made a whole video. I made videos on the different types of narcissists, right? If you're dealing with a malignant, don't give them any indication that you're going to leave, right? Make sure that you play your cards smart. Make sure that you protect yourself and do the right thing. If you're dealing with a covert, depending on who you are, you may be able to speak up and do whatever, because coverts don't fight directly, right? They fight with passive aggressive and silence, and they use their silence to abuse you because they want you to come back to them. They want you to crave them. They want you to chase them, right? That's how covert narcissists think. Overts are more loud. They get in your face, but they won't physically attack you. They'll just throw things. They may just scream at you, but they're not going to attack you. This is why it's important to understand which narcissist you're dealing with, right? So understand this, guys. Narcissists can dish it, but they cannot take it. Right? Just remember that when you encounter someone who you think is a toxic person and who may also be a narcissist, that they cannot dish, but they can dish it, but they can't take it. And think about it this way: if somebody can dish it, but they can't take it, that ought to mean that they're a pathetic person, right? That ought to mean that it has everything to do with their behavior and nothing to do with your behavior, right? Because you didn't do anything to deserve that. Right? I'm sure if you're watching my video, you didn't do anything to deserve that, right? You were a very good, honest person. But see, narcissists, they're not honest. They don't like honesty. They don't like goodness. They don't like holiness. They don't like everything good. They don't like anything good, right? Because the truth exposes their lies. Right? And narcissists love lies. Their whole life is built on a lie. Why is that? Because narcissists don't have an identity. They need to steal other people's ideas. They need to steal other people's hopes. They need to steal other people's mindsets, right? Because they know that they can't think for themselves. Doesn't that sound like a pathetic person? It does, because narcissists are pathetic. Right? They need to steal other people's ideas because they don't have any ideas of their own, right? So that's why they're on a constant need for people. So what I say is that if we cut off more narcissists, if we stop giving all the narcissist supply, if we just let them walk by, I don't care if it's the most beautiful woman on earth. I don't care if it's the guy that seemingly has everything going for him. I don't care if it's the parent that showers their child with fake affection, right? I don't care who it is. If we cut off all the narcissists of their supply and we deprive them of their supply, then more of them are going to leave this earth, because narcissists, they need supply. They need to feel like they are important. And once they don't feel important, then they crash out. They can't handle it, right? So, but again, make sure that you understand what I'm saying here. Understand which narcissist you're dealing with first before you make any moves at all, right? You can't do this with every single narcissist. Some narcissists are very violent. Some narcissists are passive aggressive with it. Some narcissists are rambunctious and loud, right? You have to make sure that you understand that. And if you don't, book a session. I can help you out with that. I can help you decide and figure out whether you're dealing with a narcissist or not. I can help you with that, right? Don't go into battle thinking that you're a tough guy or a tough gal, or you can handle this guy or handle this girl. Be very careful, because narcissists are demon possessed as well. That's why I've said narcissists are not normal people. They're not normal everyday toxic people where you end it, you move on with your life, you do whatever you want. I've said that before in this video, but I need to reiterate it again, right? They're not normal people. They will continue to want access to people and want something from people for as long as they can hold on to those people, right? Unless those people go no contact. And even when you go no contact, they're still gonna try you. They may even still try you, right? Because they think inside their mind, their high sense of self-importance, it makes them feel like, I can try this person. I can see if I can get something from them. Maybe not a relationship, but I can see if they will still want to talk to me, right? Because they want to feel powerful. They want to feel like they can control, right? So I've said a lot here, guys. That's what I want to talk about today. The fact that narcissists can dish it, but they can't take it. If you would like a one-on-one session, please email me, paul.wisdom_03@hotmail.com, or you can send a text message to 647-406-3057. If you want to talk, if you want to vent, if you need some more advice, if you're trying to figure out whether the person you're dealing with is a narcissist or not, please feel free to reach out to me. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, share it with somebody who you think could use the knowledge and use the wisdom. No pun intended. And watch the podcast. I put a link to the podcast that I spoke on about my narcissistic experience throughout my life. Please watch that podcast. I think it's a 2-part podcast, and I hope that you can, benefit and take something away from it. Share it with somebody as well. Somebody can benefit from it. And yeah, I hope to see you guys on the next video. Thank you so much for joining me here today. And take care and have a great day.